Shalom. This is Rabbi Kostanov, speaking to you here from Israel. It's very early in the morning here. Not that it really matters. I don't really sleep anyway. I'm going to make a couple remarks. I don't expect this to make me more popular. In fact, I know it won't in many circles. And that's okay. That's absolutely okay. Because it needs said. Yesterday, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, withdrew the United States from the Iranian nuclear deal. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. It's don't agree with you on many things, most things maybe. I didn't vote for you. I can't vote in America. But thank you. Thank you. Absolutely thank you. And to all of you people out there, notably in places like America, Canada, Australia, Western Europe, that are trying to rehabilitate this deal as if it was something good and positive. What is wrong with you? It's like you learned absolutely nothing from history. The Iran nuclear deal was a sham from the get-go, okay? These people lied from the very beginning. They never had any intention of giving up their ambitions of seeking nuclear weapons. Never at any point. And that's been proven as a fact as of last week. You're also lovey-dovey and peaceful now. You want this deal to stand because, if the Iranian nuclear deal goes away, we might have a war with Iran. In 8 years' time, when the deal was set to expire, because remember, it does have a sunset clause, and Iran has enough nuclear fuel stockpile that they can manufacture hundreds of nuclear weapons. What do you think was going to happen then? Do you think you could negotiate with them then? Do you know who these people are exactly? I don't mean the average Joe in Iran. I mean the regime, what they believe, what their ideology is, how they behave, how they try to influence world affairs. In any direction I go that's not directly west, directly into the Mediterranean Sea, whether I go north, there's Lebanon. And in Lebanon, there's this group called Hezbollah. They're a terrorist group. They're a paramilitary organization, extremely well funded. They're paid. They're like almost like a professional fighting force at this point. They are paid for, paid, and trained by Iran. Look at it this way. Hezbollah is Iran's foreign legion, made up of Shia Muslim Arabs from Lebanon and also Syria a little bit. This is an organization that fought a war with us in 2006 when they came across our border, killed a number of our soldiers, kidnapped 2, and shelled our cities for about a month, killing scores of people, innocent people. Hezbollah is Iran in Lebanon. They're on our border. Where I'm living right now, I'm an hour and a half drive away from these people. Okay? And I've fought them. I've exchanged fire when I did my military service with these people. In fact, most of the scars on my body are from a rocket that was made in Iran and fired from Hezbollah that ripped through a vehicle I was in, exploded, killed 2 of my friends, and burned me over most of my body and put shrapnel fragments in my face. These are people that in 1992 blew up a Jewish community center in Buenos Aires, Argentina, killing a number of people, including children. If I go northeast, there's Syria. The Syrian regime is very close to Iran. Iran is propping up that regime now, and that regime also supplies Hezbollah. Hezbollah has a presence in Syria. In fact, we've been fighting them there too. We've been bombing them from the air too, so they don't gain a foothold there. Syria has not just Hezbollah, but also regular Iranian troops stationed within it right now. Iran is establishing bases in Syria from which they could not only possibly target Israel, but they could also target parts of Europe. Oh, now it might be your fucking problem. Oh, excuse me. Pardon my French. To the south, in the Gaza Strip, there's Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They're both funded extensively and supported by Iran. These are all genocidal terrorist organizations. Okay? Why would Iran fund genocidal terrorist organizations? Because Iran, the government of Iran, is a genocidal terrorist organization. Don't take my word for it. Look up some of the things they've said. Look up the Iranian constitution and where it actually spells out what the regime's goals are. These are not people you can rationally deal with and sit down and negotiate with. Okay? These people slaughter their own children. They're doing it now. They're recruiting children from Afghanistan and Iran to go fight in Syria. And in the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s, they used mostly young boys, thousands of them, to run across minefields to clear them so Iranian tanks could advance, with the promise that they'd go to paradise and all that good horse shit. And they have shrines to this. They have memorials in their capital to this. They're proud of this. Okay, this is not like dealing with the Soviet Union where it's a concept like mutual assured destruction. Mutual assured destruction does not deter Iran. Okay? They don't care if what they do kills them. They don't care if they get destroyed in the process of destroying others. That's precisely what they want. They believe it's their role in this world to bring about the end times. These are people you want to sign a nuclear deal with that doesn't even have any reflexive checks, that basically relies on them giving the world a big pinky swear that they're doing the right thing. Iran is the #1 sponsor of terrorism in the world. That's a fact. They've sponsored Al-Qaeda. A number of the 9/11 hijackers spent time in Iran. They've financed the Taliban in Afghanistan. Hezbollah, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They're fomenting a lot of the unrest in Syria, a lot of the civil strife in Iraq. Iraq is basically an Iranian proxy regime at this point. And what's not being reported in the Western news media is that Iranian-backed militias like the Mahdi Army in Iraq are committing atrocities against Sunni Arabs that are just as bad as ISIS. But you don't even know about that. Then you go down to Yemen. You have the Houthi insurgency. The Houthis are Shia Arabs backed by Iran trying to take over Yemen and threaten the Persian Gulf. These are the people we're dealing with. Iran is not some peaceful, non-expansionist, minding its own business victim in any of this. This is an extremely aggressive group of people. Again, not the population, the government. You don't want war with Iran? You should be applauding getting rid of this deal. As of last week, when it was definitively proven, something that we all knew anyway, those of us who are familiar with this situation, that Iran cheated and that Iran lied during the nuclear deal, new protests against the regime have erupted in Iran. Why would they protest their own regime? Because they remember what it was like living under economic sanctions back when there still were economic sanctions against Iran. It made life very hard for them. That's unfortunate. It was meant to cripple their government. Signing the nuclear deal lifted those sanctions. It unfroze Iranian assets in the billions and billions of dollars that they've been using to fund not only their illegal nuclear weapons program, but chaos throughout the Middle East. You're kind of insulated from this in America and Canada and Western Europe for now. For now. And that could change. The second Iran gets a better missile, which they're working on, we know they're working on, that could change for you. I'm not so insulated from this. I've had these people try to kill me and come very close to succeeding. Okay? Where my daughter, my baby son, and my newborn son sleep is within a very short distance drive in any direction from being in contact with people who are financed by Iran who want to kill all of us. This is not theoretical for me. And guess what? Someday, when Iran develops an ICBM that can hit Los Angeles or New York City, it won't be theoretical for you either. You think that they just hate us? They don't. You seem to forget we're the little Satan, you're the great Satan. So, and I'm sorry the tone of this is so angry, I'm sick and tired of people who live in safety telling me what I should be concerned about and thinking that they know better on how best to maintain peace here. You cannot talk your way or negotiate your way out of every confrontation in the world. It doesn't work that way. That's exactly how you get what happened in 1938 with the Munich Accords, where that idiot Neville Chamberlain, in order to appease Nazi Germany and Adolf Hitler, basically allowed him to seize the Sudetenland in Europe. It didn't help. All it did was it emboldened him. The very next year, he invaded Poland. He invaded France, Belgium, Holland. Threatened Britain, began a vicious bombing campaign against Britain. What do you think it's going to do if you embolden people like this by signing a deal that allows them to keep their nuclear infrastructure? People with their eye on the apocalypse do not need nuclear weapons. And yeah, you know what? I can already sense some idiot typing in comments right now. Yeah, you are an idiot if this is how you think, because it shows to me you didn't do a minute's research. Oh, well, Israel has nuclear weapons. Why isn't that a big deal? Very simple. We're not threatening other countries with them, for one. We're not the world's number one supporter of terror, for two. Number three, we're not a theocratic regime bent on the end times. Most relevant, possibly, to your question is number four. We never signed the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Our nuclear weapons program is perfectly legal. Iran did sign the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which is exactly what makes their nuclear program completely illegal. And so, without ranting much further, thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Trump.